All right, a couple of points about the bench press. I'm just going to go over the basic technique of how to do this exercise correctly because it's probably the most popular exercise in the gym, and it's probably also the most commonly botched exercise in the gym. So I'm going to go over the technique and the points. First of all, the way to set up for the exercise is important. When I get in, I'm not going to set myself up by having a flat back. So if you hear somebody make cues about a bench press by keeping your entire back flat against the bench, that's wrong. That's the worst thing that you can do because it doesn't set yourself up for a proper injury-free movement. So when you do this, you're going to want to have space underneath your back and between your back and the bench. So it's going to look something like this. When I have a tucked position like this, I can fit some space underneath there in my back. What this does, it helps me pull my shoulder blades back and also creates a nice space where my feet can drive into the floor. So we need that. The reason why this is okay is because this is a horizontal pushing action. Since you're pushing from the floor and it's a horizontal press, you're not going to have any sort of stress on the spine because that's not what's bearing the load here. What's bearing the load is actually your shoulders, your shoulder blades, and your upper back. So you don't have to worry about that. It's not the same as doing an upright press or a standing press where you have too much of an arch in the back. Totally different. Having said that, the next thing you've got to think about is your hand position. You don't want a grip that's far too wide. If you have a grip that's too wide, it's all about the angles that you create. So we don't want anything to exceed 90 degrees here. So for me, I like a grip that's a little bit narrower than usual, but I like to put my pinky fingers on the rings here, set my shoulders, and this is my first position here. Now the bar path is the third part of this. Now with the bar path, we want to make sure that we're not pressing the bar directly in a straight line. If we press the bar in a straight line, then it's going to actually come and create shear forces on our body. Shear forces on our shoulders and our elbows because the bar is not moving the way that it corresponds to your body moving. So what I mean by that is you'll see a lot of people come in and do something like this. They'll set up right, everything looks good, their shoulder blades are pulled back, their hands are on the bar, and then they do something like this. They press the bar down and they press it straight up. Now if you look at the bar in correlation to my shoulder and to my arm, there's not a vertical line underneath it. The bar's coming down over this space right here, which doesn't mimic the angle of my arm. Right here, at the bottom of the lift, my elbow's underneath the bar, which is a good thing. I'm going to want to press so that my whole arm stays under the bar as well. So right here, the bar's over my shoulder, and my whole arm creates that support. So if you notice, I'm sort of pushing the bar backwards as I press. And this way, my forearm stays under the bar, and my upper arm stays under the bar at the top of the lift as well. One thing that I forgot to mention as well is that arched position, that tucked position where my chest is up high also helps because of the fact that it takes away from your shoulder stress. If you look at the difference with a flat back, my chest is sunken now. So even if I keep my hands in the same place and I lower the bar to my torso, look at how much lower my arm, my elbow sinks below the level of the bench. That creates a lot of stress right here on the shoulder. You don't want it. Now if I get set up properly, raise my chest, now the bar doesn't have to travel quite as far, and when you're under serious amounts of load, those couple inches difference now where my elbow is towards the floor, it's a lot higher than it used to be. And those couple inches of difference could make a huge effect on your shoulder health, especially when you're doing your bench press for reps and reps and reps. So those are a few pointers about how to do the bench press correctly so that you don't get injured and so you don't have too much stress or chronic pain that develops as a result of doing this exercise. It's not my favorite exercise in the world. Shouldn't be as prioritized as exercises like the deadlift or the pull-up or the squat. But if you're going to do this, it might as well make sense to learn how to do it right. So that's it.